100 years ago, Newport's most famous avenue began developing. As an emerging class of wealthy industrialists arrived, they hired architects and designers to create lavish summer cottages. The design of these cottages reflected the attitudes and tastes of the day. So a drive down Bellevue Avenue, past changing architectural styles, is a trip through time.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats and mind your head. Everyone's got a good view on the Ocean House Omnibus. Get up, get up. Our tour of Bellevue Avenue begins right here at the casino, where you've just been enjoying yourselves. Now, of all the magnificent places on the street,
the casino was the gateway to Bellevue Avenue. The distinctive archway welcomed visitors into an unexpected world of leisure. Not the typical gentleman's club, it was a gathering place for men and women of society to see and be seen. Public concerts, horse shows, a ballroom, billiard and card rooms, and the new sport of lawn tennis were all on the casino program.
I helped build the place, but I only go there now during the horse shows. My cousin works as a groom and he lets me in.
The casino was conceived in 1879 by New York Herald publisher James Gordon Bennett. He commissioned the promising architectural firm McKim, Mead & White. Their challenge? To combine a serene, garden-like inner world with an outer facade of fashionable shops. The result? A mixture of early American vernacular and fanciful elements from the European countryside came to be known as the shingle style. With the casino's leisure activities, large hotels like the Ocean House lost their allure. The summer visitors now sought privacy and held their social entertainments behind the doors of their new summer cottages. One of the first was Kingscote, not far from the Ocean House. Originally a picturesque Gothic Revival country home, it was remodeled by the casino's inventive architects for new owner David King. McKim, Mead & White again chose the shingle style, added a dining room, and had Louis Comfort Tiffany himself design the interior. Only a few decades before, there was no Bellevue Avenue, just a patchwork of country lanes that wove through abandoned colonial farms. A savvy Newport tailor, Alfred Smith, and his partner Joseph Bailey saw the great potential, bought vast tracts of land, and convinced the town to lay Bellevue Avenue through it. Soon, it was the most sought-after real estate north of Manhattan.
Ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind that the owners spent fortunes on these houses, and they still call them cottages. Now look and you'll see the Isaac Belle House, or Edna Villa. There's quite a story about
the Belle House, another design by McKim, Mead & White, continued the development of the shingle style. Colonial American, English Queen Anne, and Oriental details were playfully mixed, with a textured shingled exterior tying it all together. The nearby Watts Sherman House was inspired more by English than American styles. Created by architect H.H. Richardson, its medieval design reflected the longing of the nouveau riche for aristocratic roots. The construction of Château-sur-Mer heralded the arrival of a grander era in the style of Newport summer houses. Built in 1852, it was renovated 20 years later by architect Richard Morris Hunt. The owner, William Shepherd Wetmore, had made his fortune in the China trade and wanted his house to be more monumental than any other. Rough-hewn granite from nearby Fall River forged Château-sur-Mer's solid look. But Château-sur-Mer's stature went unchallenged for only a brief period of time.
That music you hear is a full orchestra rehearsing for Mrs. Astor's ball this evening. Her house, Beechwood, is on the left, up ahead.
When Mrs. William Astor, the grande dame of New York high society, purchased Beechwood, Newport was anointed the queen of North American resorts. Mrs. Astor redecorated the interior and added a tasteful ballroom where her exclusive social circle could gather.
Caroline Astor's cottage is as quietly distinguished and classically elegant as she. All of her entertainments are conducted according to a splendid and decorous propriety.
The generation of cottagers who followed relaxed their protocol and created houses to serve as a dramatic stage for their summer entertainments. Marble House, designed by Château-sur-Mer architect Richard Morris Hunt, was a gift from William K. Vanderbilt to his wife Alva. For 4 years, scores of European artisans worked on its construction. When completed, unlike Beechwood, it boldly asserted itself on the avenue, overpowering everything around it. Belcourt, another Richard Morris Hunt design, was created for Oliver Hazard Perry Belmont. Modeled after a French hunting lodge, it had a small palace on the upper floors and a working stable on the ground level with linen beds for Belmont's beloved horses. Belcourt and Château-sur-Mer were soon joined by the last and most impressive of the Hunt creations, the Breakers. Named for its dramatic position on the rocky coast, it was designed for Cornelius Vanderbilt II. This 70-room Renaissance-style villa had an open view of the ocean and a broad front lawn on which many functions and fetes were later held. These grand mansions were symbols of conspicuous consumption. In their ballrooms, high society whirled obliviously through the 1890s, the worst financial depression in America's history to date.
Before we head out along Ocean Drive, off to the left are Clarendon Court and Miramar, designed by the same architect who designed the Elms.
The Elms, designed by Horace Trumbauer, was completed in 1902 for coal magnate Edward Berwind. A massive limestone structure, it duplicated an 18th century French chateau, including a beautiful and elaborate formal garden. The Elms matched the grandeur of the Hunt-designed houses, but when Bellevue Avenue reached Ocean Drive, the architecture and attitude took a dramatic turn. A mansion on the edge of the summer colony was purchased by Pulitzer Prize-winning author Edith Wharton and named Land's End. Wharton renovated the house with designer Ogden Codman Jr. in a manner that helped define a new style.
I disliked the vapid watering place amusements, but I loved Land's End, with its windows framing the endlessly changing moods of the misty Atlantic and the night-long sound of the surges against the cliffs.
Edith Wharton wrote about architecture and style in her first book, The Decoration of Houses, co-authored with Codman and published in 1897. Her ideas became an antidote for Newport society's design tastes, turning away from the excesses and gaudiness of the Gilded Age. As attitudes changed, the social activities of the summer colony became more than just elaborate parties. Bailey's Beach, at the end of Bellevue Avenue, was developed for the elite to enjoy the sea in relaxed privacy. Outings along Ocean Drive, however, were an activity enjoyed by everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, keep your eyes open on Ocean Drive. You never know who you'll see out for an excursion. Why, just last week I caught sight of...
As you take a drive down Bellevue Avenue, do as visitors have long been doing. Stand in the imposing portico at Marble House. Stroll through the gardens at the Elms. Pass through the casino's famous archway. Everywhere you go, consider the architecture and design, which have preserved in time the culture of Newport and America in the Gilded Age.